How much is a script worth?
It's a very good question. It depends basically what it is that the writer is trying to get out of it. A script can be a tool. A script can be a great showcase of what a writer can bring to Hollywood, bring to the market. But that's just one aspect of spec screenwriting, where you're trying to present yourself as a writer for hire. At which point a script has an unlimited amount of potential in terms of price, because you can build a career off that mindset. If you're going in as a one-time pop-off script where you're going to write something specifically that's marketable and sellable, you can probably flip it for a cheap deal if you're able to secure a purchase. Generally, you'll probably be offered an option agreement, which means that a company is going to borrow the rights to it and see if they can generate a film adaptation from your script. If you're one of the lucky ones who's able to sell a script for purchase and actually receive a check for it up front, it's generally worth about 10 to 15% of what the actual out-of-pocket budget will be to produce the film.
And in most cases, what would that be? Well, like for let's say a made-for-television movie, what could a screenwriter expect to see for their
budgets? A budget is a very relative term, because a budget is, you give a budget for a group of financiers or pre-sellers who you're trying to get money from. And you're going to give them a certain number so that you can gain a little bit more from them. If you are on set, you might give a different budget number so that you can avoid certain issues potentially with contractors maybe trying to take advantage of you, tax codes, unions. So there's a certain budget level might be presented there. And then the final budget that's actually released after the fact could include whole marketing components that were never factored in early on. So budget's a pretty relative term. So how much one movie might be budgeted for versus another is all over the map. It depends on cast. It depends on how much collateral was secured in advance. It's kind of all over the map.
Sure, but what could a screenwriter expect to get for their just bottom line? Like if someone says, should I really invest all this time in honing this craft of mine and coming up with multiple drafts? What could I expect to see from one script?
My belief is this: what a screenwriter can really expect out of a single script. I don't think a screenwriter should really look at it in that way. I think a screenwriter could potentially get a couple $1,000s up to tens of thousands of dollars for a single script if it just nails it. Screenwriting is really more of it's a craft, and it's a kind of a lifelong investment, I believe, of time. And I think that a writer is going to make a lot more money if they're writing what Hollywood needs overall, because then they can become a go-to writer. They can become a go-to writer that production companies like the ones that I work for are always in need of. That when we have a film that we're developing, when we have a project that we have funded, we can call up a writer that we know we trust, who can deliver that kind of content quickly, and we can churn a very quick deal, $15,000, $25,000 for a couple of drafts of a script. And that can be an ongoing situation, and you can write 3-4 scripts a year in that scenario. If you're writing on spec in the hopes that Hollywood will just perfectly align with what you're pitching to them, it's a very, very, very tough, daunting challenge to be able to actually get a transaction on that. I would say slim to nil of making it happen. That's why I think it's more important for writers, if they're going to write spec, which is a requirement in the beginning, write what Hollywood needs, focus on those goldmine genres, the must-have content that the system wants, and use it as a sample of what you can bring to the marketplace and what your value is as a writer, and then you can become a go-to writer. So the big answer to the question is, how much can you make? It's all over the map. It's more about not looking at it as a one-off, how much can I make on this script? It's more, how is this script going to aid my career as a writer, which a writer can make a very substantial amount of money if they play the game right.
Sure, but for a first-time newbie, let's say 2,000 really could be the lowest, like at the low end of what they could expect to see.
2,000 could easily be like an option buy-in. So 2,000, like a company might say, okay, there's something to the script. We like the idea. We're not convinced that anyone's really interested, or maybe they go, you know, we just had an interesting conversation with company XYZ last week, and they seem to like something like this. Maybe we put an option on this script of $1,500, $2,500 as a courtesy of let's borrow the rights for a period of time, so we can pitch it to this company. And then if a deal takes place, fantastic, the writer gets a payout, the production company gets the script. If no deal takes place, it's much less risk for the production company or the producer or whomever is giving the option. And so in those instances, that might be the best option. That might be the best opportunity a writer gets on that script.
Right.
It's really hit or miss.
Sure.
It's really hit or miss.